Alright, Q1 it's Kakaka Today is, when is it? December 12th, 2023 here in Pacifica, California, 12 miles to San Francisco. The indoor temperature is about 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 19 to 20 degrees Celsius. No heater in this one. Just going to do a quick, it's not Medaka talk today, BlueGularis. Something I'm doing new. So just wanted to document this. These juveniles, they're growing fine. About like what, 4 weeks. This is a Aqueon 5.2 or 3 gallon tank with the Neocaradinas that I have in here, the Blue Dreams, with a red ram's horn, Anubias Nana Petite, and these are the Philippines Pilomas, and they're growing pretty fantastic. And the reason why I have these juveniles in here, once the fries develop, I throw them in here just because it seems like there's a natural ecosystem going on in here. There's a lot of infusoria and all that they could eat on. And I've noticed that my shrimp population has decreased. So I'm assuming that as the BlueGularis juveniles grow, they're eating the newly born shrimp. And I think that's one of the reasons why they do well here in this tank, that they kind of put on some meat pretty well for me, instead of just keeping them in a tank by itself. So this is like my go-to tank at this point. When I do get fried, just throw them in here and I let them grow to this point around the size, and then I will move them out. But before it's getting too long before I take my first sip, the best beer is the beer that I'm having this last minute recording, and it's because I'm doing something really something I haven't done in the past, and this is the first time, so I figure I'd document it. But the metal Medaka today is, I've been getting into gypsy jazz guitar lately, and this is the back side of a gypsy jazz guitar. I think this is a Santos rosewood, but it's pretty beautiful. Oh yeah. So, right. What's new? What am I doing? This is just the top view, by the way. I don't know. This is the size. What am I doing different this time around? Let me just bring the light up, and I hope it kind of shows. All right, these are just like green scrubbers, right? So I had mentioned before that for the BlueGularis Killifish, what you do is once they spawn, you take the spawning mop out and put them in a bag or whatnot, or you take the eggs from the spawning mop and you throw them in peat moss, and then you throw the peat moss, a little wetted peat moss, into a sandwich bag for about 6 weeks. But the problem is that the peat moss, it just gets so messy because you are going to introduce the peat moss into the water for the eggs to hatch. So this time what I did is, in experimenting with just these scrubber pads that I use from Medaka, right, the spawning mops, and I just placed the eggs on a wet, damp scrubber, kitchen scrubber, and I threw it in a sandwich bag for 6 weeks. And today I just threw these scrubbers into this this container filled with tap water, and I place the eggs just like randomly. I see some white ones. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look like fungus. Maybe it's a dead egg. But if it was a dead egg, I think in 6 weeks it'll just fungus away and you'll just see some mold or something like that. I'm pretty sure that these dark ones, that's actually the BlueGularis fry developing in the eggs. I don't know if you could see, but there's another one right there. It's not really white, it's kind of yellow. So we'll see. Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll see some fry swimming around. And if that is the case, I think from now moving forward, I mean, this is the way to go for me. It's super not messy, right? You don't have to deal with the peat moss floating around everywhere. Once all the fries like hatch, I'll just remove this scrubber, or the scrubber could actually act as a material where beneficial bacteria can grow. So maybe I'll just leave it in there. But I was just looking for a way where it's just like, the peat moss thing is so just messy, and it was, to me, maybe I'm really forward to it. And going back to why you do this for the BlueGularis, and I'm a newbie at this. These are like my third batch, I guess, fry. So once you collect the eggs, the reason why you put it in a dry situation is you are basically mimicking what happens in nature. So the BlueGularis, they're from Africa. I think they're from Nigeria. And what happens is the parents are in a puddle, right? And they lay eggs. And what happens is the drought season comes. The drought season comes and all the water evaporates from these puddles. The parents die. And the eggs are left in the mud. And now the eggs are left in the mud for, I guess, 6 weeks or so. And they're just kind of chilling there on dirt. And then the rain season comes back. And now with the rain season back, that little ditch full of eggs gets filled up with water again. So that's what, I guess we are mimicking by taking the eggs onto a dry substrate, like peat moss, or in this case, I'm using a sponge, and I'm throwing it in a sandwich bag, and for 6 weeks, and then now I'm throwing that the sponge or the scrubber back into the water to mimic the rain season. And that's what this, it's I don't know, I guess I've only done this a few times, but it's pretty fascinating how it works. So again, just trying to document my first attempt to make a non-messy way to mimic this process without using peat moss. And people use peat moss because it has antifungal agents, natural agents, and it prevents the eggs from fungusing. But for me, I was like, let me just try it. I want to try it in a way where you don't have to deal with all that peat moss and all that. So I just use scrubber that I typically use for to create my rice fish spawning mobs. So that is all. Oh boy, let me just take a real quick sip. Kanpai Chin. Oh yeah, that's beautiful right there. Oh, Santos Rosewood, I think. All right. So that is all I wanted to document today. Again, simple tank, but super seasoned tank over here. This one's not the best color. It's kind of light. There's some darker ones over here. And again, I had tons of shrimp in here until I started putting in the juveniles. And I guess the juveniles are filling their bellies up with any of the shrimp that hatch. But that's okay. It's all good. It's all like a ecosystem that's going on over here. Pretty soon I will remove these babies that I have, and food focus, and I will hopefully, if I do get some fry from here, I'll throw the fries in from here. Sometimes they were saying that you'll be lucky enough after even, like, a few minutes of putting the